Tania and Eric. This is a very exciting interview for me. Long-term decades of friendship with this lady here and my new best friend, Eric. Great to see you too.
Great to be here. It's about time.
Well, I did promise the naughty finger. We'll do it early in the interview here. Waving the naughty finger because the Hooters toured Australia in 1985 and have never been back. Why is that so?
We were just waiting for an invitation. You know, it's not the sort of thing where you can just pack your stuff in an airplane and fly over and say, "Hey, we're here. Where are we setting up?"
Yep, but that invitation finally came from you, didn't it, Tania?
Eric was threatening to visit our shores for some time. So I've got to get to Australia, got to get to Australia. And it was my crazy idea that we do a tour. And where it all started, Paul, was, you know, Sweden, because we both married Swedes. So to now, it's just funny, isn't it, Eric, to be thinking about our dark basement days writing songs and you know, the North Pole. And now I'm back in the South Pole living here. And I've insisted we tour together here, and you have obliged. And here we are.
I think you're going to have to introduce Eric to the Fairy Penguins of Melbourne when he gets down here.
There's so much to squeeze in. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's kind of, but you've managed to pack it all in, haven't you, Eric? The tourist side.
Yes, our itinerary is very impressive.
Do you recall coming down here in 1985, Eric? What parts of the country did you see back then?
You know, it's funny. I don't remember what I had for breakfast today, but I remember the tour in '85 very clearly. I had oatmeal for breakfast today. I'm kidding. So we were informed that we had a hit in Australia, and that we were flying down for 4 days. So we flew down on a packed Qantas flight in coach, and which was an absolute nightmare. You know, we didn't know about neck pillows and sleep medication. I had a middle seat. We arrived in Sydney early in the morning, and we were whisked away immediately to a press conference. So I felt like we were the Beatles arriving at you know, in New York in 1964. That night we were on, I believe it was that first night we were on a Countdown with Molly Meldrum, where we were presented with our gold records. We went to a party at Molly's house. I remember sitting with Tina Turner for a couple of hours and just hanging out. We did a gig in Sydney that night. Then they flew us down to Melbourne, and we played a venue. Tania knows what it was like, an amusement park.
A Luna Park.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was packed, and I don't know, 5,000 people. And I remember at some point, I forgot that we were on the other end of the world. It just felt like we were at home.
Yeah. Well, that probably would have been the old Palace back in those days, wouldn't it, Tania? Because there was the Palace, and seeing as you're playing at Memo Music Hall when you get down to Australia in April, you will be right across the road from Luna Park.
Good point, Paul. Good point. I'm going to walk you to that spot, Eric. Okay. It's a stone's throw.
So this tour that you're doing is really the greatest hits of two careers coming together. Tania, you'll be doing the Bachelor Girl stuff, the recent solo stuff. Eric, we will be hearing Hooters, those big hits, And We Danced, All You Zombies that still get played every day on the radio, even today.
Yes.
And also Joan, Osborne, One of Us, which Eric wrote, and you two have now recorded.
Yes.
We have.
We have reimagined it.
So tell me more about the new recording of One of Us, Tania and Eric, with the original songwriter, Tania.
Does it get any better? Not really. I think we've just taken it to radio. So, Paul, you're the first person we're talking to about it officially.
It's all right. I won't tell anyone. It's our secret.
Please do. Please do. But it's exciting because it truly is reimagined. And I think, that song's never going to get old, but it takes on a whole new meaning with Ladysmith Black Mambazo that Eric is genuinely friends with. And it's giving it this world music, you know, meshed with an iconic hit that I just think I don't know. It's still, I just get so many layers from it every time I listen to it. I mean, the song itself back in '95, and that's a sign of a great bloody song. It just never gets old.
And Eric, when Prince decided he was going to record that was absolutely incredible. That Prince has taken one of your songs. You're now the songwriter of a Prince tune. Tell me about the feeling when that happened. That was sort of gobsmacking.
So I first found out about it. I knew that he was performing the song live because maybe 6 months before the album came out, a fan in Japan sent me a couple of cassettes of his bootlegs of his live shows at the Budokan, and both nights he did the song. The second night, he said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I love this song. This song is written by Joan Osborne. Sing along, won't you?"
Oops.
So I knew that he was performing the song, and then, you know, the record came out, and it's funny, I listened in headphones, and if you listen in the beginning, you can hear someone off mic talking, mumbling. So I think that and he's known for doing this, it is a live performance of one of us. It is his performance from the Budokan, and they just, you know, muted his vocal mic when they mixed the intro, but you're hearing him in the house, you know, saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, Joan Osborne wrote this song." But I was appropriately credited, and they spelled my name right.
Wow.
And he later did say that he wished he'd written it himself.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Come on, I'm going to tell everybody I know about that.
That was pretty cool. Actually, Katy Perry was doing the song live, and she actually said, you know, "I wish I had written this song."
And now I'm saying it. But I have to say, Eric, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but Vanilla Sky, when it comes in, and that's probably equal first epic moment for me. Like the fact that Prince recorded it, but also where it comes in that movie. Am I the only person in the world that loves that movie? I really like Vanilla Sky and Tom Cruise, but I just love when it comes in.
Yeah.
It's just so appropriate. Like they really did nail that sync.
They did, although I got to say, Dr. Evil doing the song in Austin Powers 2, and claiming authorship. "Thank you, I wrote that," which, since he's performing the song in 1969, he actually would have written the song.
I love that. There you go. Never a dull moment.
It kind of makes Eric Dr. Evil, though, doesn't it?
He is.
Yep. I feel like that sometimes.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about the Cyndi Lauper album, She's So Unusual, of which you played on all but one song, and the one song that you did not play on was the Prince song. How's that for irony?
Irony, really, indeed. I tried, but, you know, they had great guitar part played by Rick DeFonso from the demo that they did, and they just built a track around that, so I was okay with it.
Yeah. Were you expecting?
But he did play all the other iconic ones. Sorry, he did play all the other iconic ones, so it's okay.
Oh, absolutely, yes. I mean, girls just want to have fun, time after time. Which was Time After Time ever considered to be a Hooters song?
No. Rob wrote that with Cyndi while we were making the album.
Or Cyndi.
Yeah, that was written with Cyndi for Cyndi. You know, and one of us too. I wrote the song one night, and the next day I brought it into our writing session with Joan, and played it for everyone, really not expecting anything except, wow, that's a weird song. And then Rick Chertoff was the producer of the record and the guy who had signed her to his label. And it was his idea. He said, "Joan, do you think you could sing that?" Which was brilliant, because if he had said, "Do you want to sing that?" she very, very well might have said, "Nah."
Right.
But you know, it was a challenge, and she said, "Yeah, I can sing the phone book right out the lyrics." And we recorded just a guitar and vocal demo, and we all looked, at each other and knew that we had captured some sort of lightning in a bottle.
So, Tania, you'll be a well-oiled machine for this tour. You've been on the road around Australia and doing lots of shows with Bachelor Girl and, you know, the occasional solo over the past 12 months to some pretty big venues too when you've been doing the festival gigs.
Sorry to those who are sick of my head all over the place, but I'm still going. And this time, you know, this is going to be a sort of an antidote to all those big festival-y, crazy, you know, million bands on the one bill, in that it's Eric and I as songwriters and a guitar and telling stories, of which I'm still learning, you know, like I didn't know that story you just told before. Of course, Eric, I don't know all your stories. There's more to learn, but that's the great thing. Just that's what makes this even more fun, I think, because our songs will be renewed. Well, we can obviously play each other's songs and sing each other's songs, and then all these stories that Eric has when people made extraordinary albums and it was like a songbook. You know, it wasn't just churn out a song every month. And yeah, I'm just a sucker for all that. So this is going to be a nice sort of last tour I do for a little while. I'm going to go back into the studio. So if you want to come and see these songs,
last time until the next time, as they say. Hey, there is
I'm not going to do a John Farnham on you all.
there is a new song, International Lover. Tell me about this song.
Tania called me and basically said, I've got a friend in from Australia. He wants to write a song. Do you want to hop in? And I'm like, yes, because I just like to make songs. And I think the hope was that someone was going to do a remix on it.
Yeah.
And we of course, so we wrote a song that was absolutely non-remixable. We first of all, the production that Marcus, right? It was Marcus that produced, that Marcus had done was brilliant. But the song itself was just to me magical, and Tania can tell you the rest of it.
Well, yeah, it's, you know, International Lover, go and discover the world and bring it back to me. So I think that's a cute hook. But in any case, we have these songs, Paul, that we've written for outside artists. And in a sense, you could just play so freely when there's no, I mean, you're not the artist. So you just write the best ideas win on the day. And we have, truth be told, you know, an album's worth of these and more, actually, of these kinds of songs that we're also releasing on this tour. So effectively they're demos, they're strong demos, they're not, and they sound really good. They've all been mastered well and everything, but we're celebrating the songs we wrote in Sweden together. And International Lover is probably my favorite. Was we had so much time, we had so much fun in that studio, and we even bring in
Communism. Yep.
Yeah, Communism. Okay. The rest is
We've
escape.
got James Bond, Austin Powers.
Austin Powers, exactly. Austin Powers is a feature as well. So I think it's so playful, and you never know. Maybe it does get remixed, Eric. But it's, I don't know who does that. Like, you know, writes a bunch of songs and then releases them. It's not what we do as artists. We pontificate, want to make them perfect, and that someday, one day, never comes. Like they never get unleashed, and I think that's very sad. And it's not conducive to momentum. I think all the songwriters we wrote these songs with and producers said, yes, set them free, get them out there. So what if they're not, you know, there's an odd thing that's out of tune, or it's not quantized there, or whatever. Like, we just need to release these babies. And so that's what we're doing.
Okay, that's exciting. So a whole album coming from this as well.
Whole album. And there's actually stuff we need to leave off. There's too many songs.
Bittersweet Symphony, The Verve, is one that I see on the set list that you may or might not be doing. What's the significance of that one for the two of you?
The significance is that Greg Gould, he's a big artist and very big online sort of, I guess you could say, YouTuber, makes great videos. Well, twisted our arm and said, hey, I want to do Bittersweet Symphony and make this epic video. And again, we did it remotely. Eric and I did the vocals from Sweden, and he also played some mandolin and sent them off to Greg. And it's it's out, out in the world already, and you can hear it. And then my husband and child ended up in the video. So again, there's all these little passion projects, and maybe they don't get as many earlobes as you like on them, but they're beautiful little, I don't know, just little moments in your career where you think, yeah, I just want to do this. I'm not going to overthink it. Yeah. So we will put that one in the set.
Certainly with Greg, on the shows we do with Greg.
Yeah, so Greg will be at our Melbourne show and Avoca Beach. So Melbourne is April 20, Avoca Beach is the 7th of April. That's a cute little theatre if you're on the Central Coast.
Well, Eric and Tania, it's been great to catch up, and these are such exciting shows because, as we said at the beginning when we were waving the naughty finger at Eric, a lot of these songs we haven't heard live for 40 years in Australia. So it's going to be good to be hearing some classic old Hooters and some brand new Tania and Eric as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can't wait. So we kick off in Wollongong for Wollongong people, the Gong people at Centro, April 5. But all the dates are on my website. And I'm sure you'll put them up, Paul, because you're so efficient. And April 5, but also, the ticket links, taniadoko.com for ease of reference. You can go there.
And I love how you said the Gong. So you're conditioning Eric to the names of Australian places before he gets here.
Good to know. Got to have some local vernacular.
All
anyway,
right.
Yeah, thanks, Paul.